Alongside me to put his expert eye on the world's best, Daniel Topolsky, former international oarsman and coach, and now rowing correspondent for the London Observer and Standard. In lane 1, closest to you on camera, Ingrid Hetscher for Germany. In lane 2, the silver medalist last year, Laurien Vermulst for Holland. 31 years of age, very experienced. In fact, she's won gold, silver and bronze in these championships before today. Across to lane number 3. The representative from down under, this is Philippa Baker, a former triathlete, but really in with a major chance of a medal today. In lane 4 for this final of the ladies single lightweight sculls, Angie Herron of the United States. United States weren't at Lucerne in this category, so interesting to see how she goes against the European opposition. And here's the best of the European opposition, or at least the defending champion, Mette Jensen from Denmark. Won the title in Tasmania last November, and here trying to defend it. Completing the lineup out in lane 6. Furthest away from you, Francesca Bentivoglio for Italy. A bronze in this particular discipline back in 1987. The bows are lined up and they're almost ready to go. Karl-Heinz Becker, the starter, just checking that everybody's in line. And Dan, conditions pretty interesting today.
Well, the conditions have been headwind most of the week, and they've gone round to tailwind now, and the conditions anyway on this course are very fast. That's what we've found. But with a tailwind behind them, I would look out for some records, because they are going to be going very, very fast indeed.
Well, quickly away there was Philippa Baker, but the first 150 metres of any race always crucial.
Crews are going to get off nice and fast and get into a rhythm as quickly as they can. Nothing really in it in this first 100 metres.
Perhaps the bow in lane number 2 there of Laurien Vermulst, the psychologist from Utrecht, just taking a narrow lead.
Well, Vermulst was second last year in Tasmania. She was second again in Lucerne, and she's certainly got a lead now. She's certainly got just the edge there on Philippa Baker, who's in lane 4, of USA in lane 4, Angie Herron. And Philippa Baker perhaps just beginning to edge a little bit now in lane 3. Philippa Baker just beginning to move a little bit there in lane 3.
So the lineup at the moment is that Philippa Baker's just got her bow ahead of Laurien Vermulst. Angie Herron's not far off the pace. She's in lane 4, and Mette Bloch guiding and biding her time. And we now go out onto the camera boat to have a look at the work of Francesca Bentivoglio. She's always in the major finals, but these days doesn't really figure on the medals.
Well, Bentivoglio, she's been coming for quite a long time. It's very good for her to be in this final. It's a very, very tough event. Women's lightweight singles, very tough event indeed, and she's really the only Italian woman to be making this kind of impression in international rowing. She's done very well to get to the final.
And now a look at the champion. Here is Mette Bloch Jensen.
Quick look across there. She's very strong on the catch, very good and comfortable there through the middle of the stroke, but getting dropped immediately now. Getting dropped is the German. Ingrid Hetscher is dropping back. She's about 3/4 of a length off the pace. But the others really very, very tight, very little in it.
Now our first look at Angie Herron of the United States. United States with a strong squad and high hopes here, but really a lot of the Western European teams have really been making major improvements during this last 12 months.
Oh yes, everybody's come on very well this from Tasmania, particularly with the demise of the Soviet bloc. The Eastern Bloc, we've seen some people, especially in women's heavyweight rowing, coming through very, very well indeed. And now we're getting a few Soviet crews and East European crews coming into the lightweights, which they haven't done at all up until now. But not in women's lightweight rowing. Here we've got the American sculler, who's looking very, very well in control there. She's sculling very nicely indeed, very comfortably, and she's in that top group of 4.
Led just at the moment by Philippa Baker, but on the far side there you can see Mette Bloch Jensen in lane 5, just beginning to put herself back into contention as we approach the halfway stage. But here's the former triathlete who was 4th in 1986. She got a silver medal in the lightweight double, Dan, in Bled in Yugoslavia.
She looks terribly controlled, doesn't she? She looks extremely powerful and in control. Slight girl, but terribly compact. Very, very effective stroke. If you look at her catch there, you see she's very, very sharp and quick on the catch.
Well, here's Laurien Vermulst vying for the lead. Of course, the advantage of being out front is that you can look across and you can just see what the moves are coming from your opposition. But nonetheless, the single sculling event is always one of the toughest.
Vermulst has just moved into the lead there at halfway. She's just got the edge, but on the far side pushing her, and Philippa Baker here in lane 3, not far off it, not far off it. It's a very, very tight race at halfway.
But here's one lady who is having a tough time. This is Ingrid Hetcher. She's 26 years of age, 1.63 meters tall, 59 kilos. That gives you an idea of the light weights as opposed to the open weights. She was runner-up in the German Championships this year, but you can see she's out of your picture and she's got an awful lot of work to do if she wants to put herself into contention. She's really having a difficult time.
Well, Vermulst is making her move here. She's making a move. She's trying to break away from the pack, and Philippa Baker's going with her. Philippa Baker is moving extremely well there in the middle. And the American, Angie Herron, beginning to feel the heat. She's beginning to drop back, keeping her form, but she's dropping back, nearly half a length back now. But these three beginning to open away, beginning to move up now at 12.50.
And interesting to see what Mette, Bloch, Jensen. The Danes are renowned for their fast late finishes, and I just wonder whether she's just waiting and waiting.
Well, she was champion last year, she was champion at Lucerne, she's a fantastically powerful sculler, but Philippa Baker has moved ahead here. Philippa Baker at 12.50 has stolen a slight lead on the two experienced girls. She's not been in the single for a couple of years. She made a good mark 3 or 4 years ago when she came 4th, but here she's moving away, she's actually slipping away from the two medalists from last year. First and second last year, beginning to fall back, and Philippa Baker now, as they come up to the 1500 metre mark, beginning to ease away.
Well, there's a good shot there of the effort that Laurien Vermulst is having to put in, but Philippa Baker looks so controlled now. Suddenly in the early part of the race, Dan, she didn't quite look to have the sort of rhythm she has now, but now it's all really come together.
Well, I thought that close-up shot that we had of her looked terribly, terribly controlled. I thought she looked very good indeed, but look at her length now. Look how she's very hard on the catch, very, very well connected on the catch. Just look at the timing of her legs as she picks up the catch. Very quick on that catch. Look, she's moving it up now. She's really winding it up.
Angie Herron trying to come back into contention for a medal. I don't think she's going to catch Philippa Baker at this stage, and Philippa's really thrown down the challenge to the other two. Laurien Vermulst looking out there to her left to see what Mette Bloch is doing in lane number 5, and at the moment the Dutch girl is finding it difficult to stay on terms. A real battle for silver, but Philippa is
really in 300 metres she's taken a length. She's just opened that up. She was sitting there waited for Vermulst to do her push at 12.50, and then she opened it up. Look at the close-up on this girl. She is completely in control of this race. Hardly a flicker there, just giving a quick check on the opponents, and she's sculling beautifully, really well.
Absolute concentration, and on her way to what looks to be, unless something happens in the last few metres of this race, the first gold medal of the 1991 Championships. And what a start that would be for the New Zealand team. That's the wide shot looking down the course. You can see lane 1 on the right of your screen, then 2, lane 3, which is where Philippa Baker is, just to the right there, and she's leading at the moment, and it's still very close.
About half a minute from home there, and it's a quick time. She's moving extremely fast on this course.
Coming towards the line now, and a chance of getting inside 7 minutes 30, and that really would be a quick time. Over on the far side, vying for silver is Jensen for Denmark, and just into our picture now comes Laurien Vermulst, and there's not a lot, and Angie Herron's trying to come back, but Philippa Baker's got across the line, and a tremendous gold medal. Vermulst has found it in the last couple of metres, and really Angie Herron threw everything to try and get the bronze, but the defending champion from last year has grabbed that bronze medal, but the honours here go to Philippa Baker. Finishing 5th there, Hetcher for Germany, and Francesca Bentivoglio in 6th.
That was a fantastic scull from Philippa Baker. She had it so well timed. She knew exactly what she was doing. She looked in control all the way through that race, and then when it counted, she just moved. And look at that, a length and a half completely clear, and she took all of that really at the 12.50 to 1500 metre mark. Brilliant scull from Philippa Baker.
Laurien Vermulst of Holland getting the silver medal, but it's mighty close there. Looks as if Mette Bloch has just got the bronze. But what a control piece of concentrated sculling there by the New Zealander. And the margin of victory pretty good and convincing. As you can see on the clock there, almost 2.5 seconds. At the moment, a photo for the bronze medal. But as I said, it looks as if last year's champion has got the bronze on this occasion. A good crowd all around this course. The gold goes indeed to New Zealand, the silver to Holland, and Mette Bloch just holds off the American Angie Herron for the bronze medal.